Welcome back, everybody, to my channel. Welcome back to the Dav's channel. My name is Amelia. I'm so glad you could join me for this new episode. It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Hopefully you're having a great week. Myself, I've been off, so I can't complain. I go back to work tonight, but you know what it is. I've thoroughly enjoyed having some time off. So today I just wanted to share with you something real special, real close to me, in honor of the exhibit in the museum that's out right now in LA. Please check it out if you haven't already. It is a Tupac Shakur Wake Me When I'm Free exhibit, and it is freaking awesome. I mean, it's amazing. It has his poetry, his screenplays, props from his movies, just a lot of great things. I don't want to give it all away, but it's a great experience. I definitely recommend that you go. So in honor of that, I wanted to review with you guys and show you guys my top 5 videos. It's top 5 poems of section 1 of The Rose That Grew from Concrete. One of my favorite books. I've had it for a long time. If you can see it, it's all beat up. It has some stuff written inside. I've had it since 2004, 2005. It's one of my favorite books, like I said. And it is a book of poem compilations of Pac that he wrote when he was young. I believe 17, 18 years old. And, what I wanted to do was, it's broken down in about, I want to say 3-4 sections. So I wanted to give you guys my top 5 of section 1. And the section 1 is The Rose That Grew from Concrete. So I want to show you guys my top 5, talk a little bit about them. And then, you let me know what you think about them in the comments. Do you have another favorite Pac poem? Did I hit your favorite poem? What do you think? What do you think he was thinking? Do you agree with my analysis? Add, take away, whatever. Give me some feedback. I always appreciate that. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. You know what I mean? Without you guys in your feedback, I can't get better. And I definitely want to get better. So without further ado, poem number 1. All right. So like I said, hopefully everybody is having a great week. Myself, I can't complain. All right. So poem number 1 is called Sometimes I Cry. And I'm going to read to you guys the poem real quick and then let you know my thoughts. Sometimes I cry. Sometimes when I'm alone, I cry because I'm on my own. The tears I cry are bitter and warm. They flow with life, but take no form. I cry because my heart is torn, and I find it difficult to carry on. If I had an ear to confide in, I would cry among my treasured friends. But who do you know that stops that long to help another carry on? The world moves fast, and it would rather pass you by than to stop and see what makes you cry. It's painful and sad, and sometimes I cry, and no one cares about why. When I read that, to me, he sounds obviously sad, depressed. I feel blessed to have friends that I'm able to call. So I can't say that I necessarily can relate to him 100% now. I definitely feel like that sometimes, even though you have friends. But I can't even imagine feeling like that and knowing you don't have anybody that close that you can call and talk to. And that's what he felt like at that time. And that's a sad feeling. And, such powerful words there, that he wrote. If I had an ear to confide in, I would cry among my treasured friends. But who do you know that stops that long to help another carry on? That just tells you right there how alone he felt and how much he didn't feel like he had anyone to speak to and anyone to really be vulnerable with. And I think that's so important, to have people in your life that you can just talk to and really allow yourself to be vulnerable. Because sometimes that's the only way that you can really let out what's really going on inside of you and make sense of it, when you can speak to someone else about it and put it out there and get a different perspective that's filled with love and kindness. So, sad poem for sure. Powerful poem. One of my favorites. Next one that we're going to talk about is, again, powerful imagery. To get a perspective of a young man on this situation and how it affected him, I think is great. And it's called Under the Skies Above, After the Miscarriage. My child is out there somewhere, under the skies above, waiting anxiously for you and me to bless it with our love. A part of me, a part of you, and a part of this love that we share will protect my unborn child who lives dormant out there somewhere. Sometimes in my dreams, I imagine what it would be like. How could I properly guide him when even I don't know what's right? Whether he is born in wealth or poverty, there will be no deficiency in love. I welcome this gift of life, given from God, under the skies above. Like I said, powerful. After the miscarriage, so, as a young man going through something like this, I think it's something that he definitely lived with for his life, because in other songs and other lyrics, you can hear that he does refer to an unborn child. I mean, he has another song, or he has a song called Letters to My Unborn Child, which, after reading something like this, you understand why he wrote a song like that. And it's very powerful, and it just, he shows, it shows him lamenting, obviously, not being able to meet his child and wondering what his child would be like and is like in heaven, in another world. Just kind of like this poem, his unborn child is dormant out there somewhere, sometimes in his dreams. And, I can relate to that. Not that I've lost a child as far as they've passed. I've lost a child in other ways, which is another story for another podcast. But I can definitely relate to having that in your dreams and having that something that's a deep core and deep part of who you are, and something that you never get over, and something that you never really get through, per se. You just learn how to live with it, and you learn how to make that part of who you are at the end of the day. So, again, one of my favorite 5, that's number 2. Number 3 is Starry Night. And this poem is dedicated to the memory of Vincent van Gogh. And for those of you guys who don't know who Vincent van Gogh is, come on, you should at least know he was a famous painter, and most people do, right? Hard of hearing. I think he cut off his own ear. Misunderstood. Somebody who, his paintings and his art express a lot of pain and express a lot of solitude, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of longing for that love and for that acceptance. I love this poem. Here it is. It's called Starry Night. A creative heart obsessed with satisfying this dormant and uncaring society. You have given them the stars at night, and you have given them beautiful bouquets of sunflowers. But for you, there is only content. And though you pour yourself into that frame and present it so proudly, this world cannot accept your masterpieces from the heart. So on that starry night, you gave to us and you took away from us the one thing we never acknowledged, your life. I mean, so much packed into so few words. Dormant and uncaring society. You know how sad it must have been for Vincent van Gogh to have poured his life and his love into his art, and for it to be received by such cold response and unloving and just rejected. Not really accepted, right? Just rejected. And to the point that he took his own life and left us with, I mean, if you've ever seen Starry Night, the painting, it's beautiful. And, you know, I think it's hard to be talented and to be somebody who thinks in an abstract way like most artists, A lot of people that are tortured and are talented, right? And talented in the arts. And I think it's just hard for them to relate to normals. And it's just a sad deal that somebody like Van Gogh was pushed to the edge by a society so caught up in success and so caught up in, what someone could do for them versus nurturing, loving, caring for them and helping them. A sad deal. Poem number 4. We got 2 more. One of my favorite poems. Again, Imagery. Yeah, I thought it was this one. I remember reading this as a young adult and this being so powerful to me about what it talks about, right? And it's called The Fear in the Heart of a Man, dedicated to my heart. And, think about it. This is Pac talking about himself and his heart. Against an attacker, I will boldly take my stand, because my heart will show fear for no man. But for a broken heart, I run with fright, scared to be blind in a vulnerable night. I believe this fear is in every man. Some won't acknowledge it, some will fail to understand. There is no fear in a shallow heart, because shallow hearts don't fall apart. But feeling hearts that truly care are fragile to the flow of air. And if I am to be true, then I must give my fragile heart. I may receive great joy, or you may return it ripped apart. I mean, to put your heart out there to someone, right, and trust them with it, is probably about the most vulnerable thing you can do as a human being, right? And I believe that is exactly what he's talking about, falling in love and allowing himself to be loved and to love someone else to the degree where you're their most vulnerable. Is a scary thing. Feeling hearts that truly care are fragile to the flow of air. And if I am to be true, then I must give my fragile heart. I may receive great joy, or you may return it ripped apart. Because you just never know what somebody might do. And having the courage to love and having the courage to step out there is, at 17, I don't think I realized how deep that is. And I think he's one of the few that at that age had the foresight and had the true understanding of what it is to love deeply and to love truly. Definitely one of my favorite poems. And last but not least, of course, I didn't want it to be the first one, but it definitely has to be in the top 5 of the section, is A Rose That Grew. The Rose That Grew from Concrete. And autobiographical. Here we go. Did you hear about the rose that grew from concrete? Let me start all over again. My bad. Did you hear about the rose that grew from a crack in the concrete? Proving nature's laws wrong, it learned to walk without having feet. Funny it seems, but by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from concrete, when no one else even cared. I mean, picture that, right? A rose growing from the concrete. Every obstacle that it had to endure and push and fight through and overcome, to be able to make it through the surface and to be able to poke its little stringy body through the concrete. And not only that, flourish enough to produce a beautiful rose. That's a powerful thing and image, picture. And Pac really was that rose that grew from concrete. born in a family where you didn't trust authority, you didn't trust other people, where the FBI was pulling you out of your school trying to find out where your family members were. That's exactly what Pac went through, to flourish to one of the greatest of all time to ever do it. Like I said, to rap, to write poetry, to act, direct. I think it's just a shame that he was gunned down. And remember, he did die at the age of 25. And you know, one thing that's always stuck with me while I wrap this up, in one of the I think it might be Thug Angel, one of my favorite Tupac documentaries. Quincy Jones said that if Martin Luther King had died at the age of 25, he would have been known as a struggling Baptist in a small church, leading a small church. If Malcolm X would have died at the age of 25, he would have been known as Chicago Red, a drug dealer on the street. He said if he would have died at the age of 25, him being Quincy Jones, he would have been known as a struggling composer and trumpet player. So the fact that Tupac died at the age of 25 is such a freaking tragedy, because you do not know what he would have been in his whole lifetime. And obviously, I guess, for those of us that believe, it wasn't meant for us to know, and it wasn't meant for him to live that long. But his impact in 25 years will last forever. And I'm definitely going to be one of those people that pushes legacy and teaches legacy to my nieces, nephews, my children, the people that I come across, because I think that he deserves it and we deserve it. So thank you so much for sticking through this video. I really, really appreciate it. Please share it, like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with everybody, and encourage to share, likes for likes, all that beautiful stuff. Suggestions, comments, I welcome them. Positivity, constructive, sure, but be cool about it in the comments. I so appreciate your love, guys, and your support, and you guys coming back and rocking with me. So I'll be dropping another video next week. I so appreciate you guys. Much love. Peace. Please go out there and support the exhibit. Go get yourself a copy of this book, The Rose That Grew from Concrete, Part 2, coming soon. Much love.